outside and pull them out of the sidewalk.
Your head.
All right, I'm showing that it's 7 o'clock. We'll call our town council meeting to order and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, first thing is if you're gonna speak publicly, you'll want to make sure and sign in on the podium up here. All right, first item on the agenda is April, May minutes and June claim docket. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review those.
I'll make a motion that we approve the May minutes and the June claim docket.
Okay, got a first motion? Second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, meeting minutes and claim docket are approved. All right, old business, first thing, parking lot bid for Presbyterian Church. So, we have gotten those companies to give bids for both our parking lot and the church's parking lot, and we've shared those with the church, correct?
And I passed them out.
Okay. All right, so anything, any questions for Pete on any of that information?
What is the difference between the binder surfacer mix compared to the other one? Why, one was 3 inches of asphalt, and the other one was?
Right, the other one is called the top one, which ends up costing more money.
Uh-huh.
And I've had 2 different opinions. They said it lasts longer if you go with the topper,
Uh-huh.
which gives it more of a smoother looking
Finished look,
Yeah,
okay.
it doesn't show the bigger rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, if there's
It's
one
basically
leading
got
us.
sand in it,
Thank you.
so it makes it look smooth.
Is there less
And of course,
maintenance?
that
Is
costs
there,
more money.
right, is there less maintenance with?
That's what he told me. He said you're better off to spend the extra money.
I don't think it's in there. This
Does
is
anybody-
the stuff I put
do you
down.
know any more information than that, other than like your own
Is it
personal
big enough?
opinion, or have you talked to anyone else that knows?
That's okay, but thanks anyway.
Doug, didn't you guys go to, did you go to some kind of paving?
Well, the class we went to is just on the passer assessment. So knowing whether it's a level 10 or a level 1, and does it need to be, milled and resurfaced or not?
Ah,
I mean,
so it had nothing to do with
Right,
it.
that was so that we could start doing our own pavement asset management plan, instead of paying the engineering firm however much we were paying them for that.
Yeah.
So we just do it ourselves now.
That top coat is like when they do the highway,
Uh-huh.
they put that black top out, then they come back, put a nice smooth surface
Right,
on it.
right.
That's basically what.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on parking lot bids or information?
Are we gonna, are you wanting for a motion for somebody to do, which one of these to do it, or we're just talking?
I don't know if
talking
we're
about-
ready to go to that point unless we want, I know we didn't budget for doing this parking lot this year, so we would have to reappropriate something
Yeah.
in our budget
Yeah.
from something else if we wanted to go that next step. Otherwise, we would have to wait until we've
Yeah.
get into the next budget. It's just,
I have one other question.
okay,
Are we gonna set a weight limit for what can be in the parking lot?
And that would probably be a good idea. You wouldn't want semis pulling in
Right.
there, which I doubt that would happen.
I'm just saying the one-off thing that with somebody box truck or something
Right,
pulls in
right.
there, or a farm implement pulls
Right.
in or something like that.
Yeah, we can put a sign up, say cars only. That'd probably be.
Because that's gonna cause, that could cause faster wear and tear on,
Oh, yeah.
especially in summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of just the, the design and engineering that we put into it could also limit who can get in there. I mean, if you make the entrance wide enough for a car, but not
Right.
for a,
Yeah, we
big
could put posts. up.
tandem semi truck trying to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we just come up with a design on how we're doing that entrance exit thing. I know the one that Banning worked on for us, had
Excuse me.
kind of an island between where there was an entrance and then an exit. So that could limit
Okay.
the size of vehicle coming in there. All right, very good. Any other questions on that? All right, next item on the agenda, update on notification system. Last month, we talked about like when storms happen or other emergencies in town and issues. Who reaches out to who, or how do we get a hold of appropriate people to, take care of things, whether it's a traffic issue or a down power line in the way or those kinds of things. So I know, Thomas, you said you were gonna kind of look into what the dispatch center does currently.
Right, and so their setup is to call whoever's on duty. So it's not even necessary to call me, it's whoever's on duty at the time. So then if there's nobody on duty, our backup is Hendricks County. So they're gonna then dispatch a Hendricks County unit to, take that run.
So like, for example, the last storm, when that power line on Kentucky went down, they did send the fire engine, but then they dispatched them on a EMS run right after that, so they didn't stay. They would have sent, or in the future, they would send a sheriff's deputy.
Yes.
To that
And-
scene.
And what happens sometimes too is we're not necessarily priority for them. So if they're super busy in the county, or they're.
Which I
busy,
imagine they were that
they're then
morning
gonna
because of,
take their runs and ours are gonna then sit until then that run is done to come take ours.
Gotcha.
It's kind of that process.
yeah, cause on that morning, there was also 4 poles laying across 500 South between here and Amo. I mean, that same day,
Right.
there's,
And about 80% of the runs, roughly, they send to me. There are times where they just don't send them.
they just decide,
And maybe it's just too busy, or something's going on, but
he
as
doesn't
a
get them.
general rule, they send them to me. At, 80% of all.
Wasn't that storm around?
It was at night, yeah, it was
Oh, yeah,
pretty
it
early
was
in the
early.
morning, so. And that's where I'm probably not getting as many runs, they're not sending them to me in the middle of the night.
Okay.
I'm getting more from about 6 AM to about midnight. Now, I can tell them they need to call me. And that is something that, as part of the protocol that I can get to them, and they're more than willing to do that. That is something.
Yeah, and I know when I talked to Duke Energy that morning, they said, we'll get there as soon as we can, but we're probably 6 or 7 hours
Yeah.
away, and they didn't show up till about 11:30 that morning, and this had happened, before sunup, so.
They do a pretty good job, and then I kind of filter that. If it's an emergency, obviously I would come out. If it was something that county or somebody could handle, then or if I'm on my other job, it makes it a little difficult. I work in Kokomo most days, so, a little bit of ways. But if it's an emergency, I'll do my best, especially in the middle of the night. Obviously, I'm not working in the middle of the night. I will come
Well,
in
and-
and take care of those things.
I mean, that specific issue didn't necessarily need to have a law enforcement officer parked here, or even a
It'd be
fire
nice to be
truck,
able
but
to
put up barricades.
Barricades,
And
yes.
so it was just a matter of notifying somebody in town who could do that. Somebody
Yes.
get
And
up.
that's where my
Yeah.
guys, I have a few guys that live relatively close, that would take 10 minutes for them to get here and put that up for
Okay.
us. They would be more than willing to do that.
They have
as
access
well.
to our barricades and,
Well, we have cones at minimum, at least on our squad cars. It might have been text or something to,
Barricades are down at the shed, right?
Yeah, they'd have to have.
it probably wouldn't have bad to have, at least they had to have a key on, put in the station, so we could access that.
I can, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just a safety
Right.
Not-
barrier to let people know
Yeah.
when they're driving down that street, oh, it's not just a
Right.
telephone pole that's
Something
broken,
sticks
there's
up,
a,
yeah.
there's a
Hot
live
wire.
wire in the street kind of thing, so.
Yeah.
Alright, any other thoughts or comments on that? I know you drove by it and called to report it as well.
Yeah, wait, get an answer.
And that's where they call the PD, which, I'll be honest with you, I ain't got anybody sitting in there at 4 AM ever gonna take a phone call. If they call this PD over here.
Now,
Unless-
Pete's phone, when he gets a voicemail on his phone, it sends him an email message
I get
that
the
he's,
same thing.
okay,
I get the same thing.
alright, so
Yep.
if she had called and left a voicemail, you would have gotten a
Yes.
notice right away
I would get a
that
notice.
she left that
yes.
voicemail.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't think there was a voicemail picked up, was there? Did it just ring? Yeah, it just
Oh.
rang.
Alright, well then, we should fix that, because your
There-
phone
There should be,
should
I
be
mean,
able
I,
to-
whenever I come in, I check those, and I just did it, I think Sunday, and there were messages, so.
When you called, did you get that old computer triage of press one
He's
for the
the one
clerk,
that
press
called.
2 for the,
It just rang. It was like 9 or 10 in the morning,
okay,
so it wasn't a 4 AM phone call. It just rang and rang and rang. So we just called Hendricks Farmers.
alright. Alright, so we'll just need to make sure that whatever phone numbers are being called. I don't know, did you just look it up, Google it, and find the phone number for the police department,
I
or?
think I have it in my phone as a contact.
Okay. So whatever phone number that is that he called, we wanna make sure it has a voicemail availability to it. Alright. Any other thoughts? Alright, last month we started talking about camera inspection. We have some sewer pipes, C9A all the way up to C8, that haven't been inspected in a very long time. So, were you able to get a hold of some companies
Yeah,
that do?
I talked to Jenny about that. We got on one company that I thought was outrageous on the cost. So I got a hold of Ashbury, and they gave me some names. I haven't got back with them
Oh, okay.
yet. But, and I did get a hold of AA. They can't do it because it says it takes a robot.
Right, yeah, theirs is
Yeah,
not.
They don't, yeah.
They can do
They can
lateral,
push their camera
right.
in,
but they can't do
but, right,
a,
right,
a major length of our main.
yeah.
Yeah, AA septic is for more smaller
Yeah.
laterals or,
Yeah, to give you an idea, it was something like $90-some $100. I thought we could repair the line for that.
you'd be surprised. I don't think we can. I don't think any of the lines that we repaired so far have been $9,700.
I guess
It's
if
been
I
much
was,
more
I guess
expensive.
I'm stupid if I was doing it. I thought that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think when Mason Private Locates did the majority of the camera inspections, that was 90-some thousand for the whole,
Yeah.
system, so
Yeah.
that,
But we're
Section.
talking like 500 feet at the most.
no. If they went from C9A all the way over to 8,
You're talking
That'd
right on
be-
39?
uh-huh,
Okay. Mr.
That'd be-
Swanson, what's the width of your property?
My property's like 460 feet
And then
from,
that's the whole width of his property.
mhm.
That's what I was going by, and then the property we had to go through to get to his. So it couldn't possibly be over 600-700 feet, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, but, I mean, the last time when Coley Contracting tried to camera inspect it, they ran into a rock just on the other side of 39, so they couldn't do it. They had to try to find somebody who could do a jet clean and
Right.
inspection.
Because when I'm passing that, I make sure.
Alright, well, we'll keep looking for
Yeah, oh yeah.
some information on that. Anybody else got any questions or comments on the camera inspection review? Alright, new business, we have a immediate care center property annexation on our new business, and it says John next to
Yeah, that'd be me.
it. Alright,
Yeah, I got thinking, since, if you aren't aware, that Hendricks County is supposed to be putting an immediate care center up there on 40 and across from the barbecue place. And, also, they would be, the property they're buying, they've got to allow 5 acres if the fire department wants to build up there, which I've already talked to Brad. He says when they build a station, that's where they would build it, instead of down on 39. But I don't, of course, that water and sewer there is Plainfield's, but the reason I brought it up, I don't know if there's some kind of other tax or money that would come back into Clayton if we got to annex that strip of land there.
We can't annex that property because it's not connected to Town of Clayton. There's parcels between here and there that are owned by the Brennan Farms that we can't. It would be just like us doing what Plainfield did to hop out to the golf course.
Right. So they've set a presence. See, we're connected at the sewer plant. That's the town of Clayton.
Right, we could we could
And that
provide
property.
sewer lines to them, but we couldn't annex the 13 acres because it doesn't touch Clayton as the law sits right now.
But
Yeah,
does all
it
the
does.
land belong to the same person?
Huh?
Does all the land belong to the same person from the sewer plant to 40?
Well, it's owned by various companies that the Brennans own, from here to out.
Yeah, but he owns all that's his
Yeah.
property.
Right,
So Mr. Brenneman could go to the county and say, I wanna dissolve the parcel lines between my parcels, and then we could annex all of it at once. But right now, as the law stands and these parcels, we would have to annex each parcel
Oh, okay.
individually until we get there where it's, up against our town, corporate limits.
right.
So it has to be 1/8 contiguous, according to the laws. Now, Plainfield's annexation, that is, a kind of a new and unique situation. But in the law that they were able to pass, it said you had to be between 30,000 population and 60,000 population. And it also said there had to be a golf course involved. So, we don't have.
Put in a putt-putt.
Right, so none of that stuff would apply here, and we're not big enough to do that. But, yeah, and I went to the Hendricks County Plan Commission meeting on Tuesday evening, where they gave a favorable recommendation to rezone this to general business for HRH's planned build and development of this 16 acres. So that step has already happened with those kinds of.
Has the sale gone through?
On Beacon, it still says Vision LLC, which
Right.
is,
Title
that's
company, private.
Mr. Brenneman's company, and so, but this doesn't always change like overnight. Sometimes it takes them a little bit of time to get that done, so I don't know, but the lawyer representing Hendricks Regional Health and the CEO and president from Hendricks Regional Health were at the meeting Tuesday night, so they were talking like they already owned it, so, but,
The 6 parcels that are next to, are they included?
those are already zoned general business, so they didn't have to worry about.
But are they included in this sale?
Yes, so the 16 acres is everything from, this corner to this corner to, so, yeah. And even this little weird jotted out part, that was all one parcel before 39 was built along here, so, and then, but, yeah. Of course, our wastewater treatment plant, about 6,000 feet from there.
It's all downhill too?
It is downhill.
Does that make it work?
That's right.
Easier.
Anyway, So the annexation process isn't a bad idea, it can't happen first.
Yeah.
It would have to, you'd have to go each parcel and
Yeah.
roll on over there, so there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th annexation we would do would cover that.
So as it stands now, it would be in the county.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is county property, and that's why the
Yeah.
county planning commission was where they applied for the zoning change. The planning commission gave that favorable recommendation. It goes to the county commissioners on the what date was that? It was a Tuesday, the 24th?
I think.
Is that the date?
Think
Goes
it
to
is.
them on the 24th, to whether or not the zoning change actually becomes official. Yeah, June 24th at the county commissioner's office, county commissioner's meeting. All right, any other questions on that? All right, next item on the business remonstrance on CCDF. Did we have remonstrance? Did the,
I have seen nothing.
not auditor, the no, auditor, yeah, the auditor's
Auditor,
office.
I have to go up there, Sam Vanderveen said I need to go up and have her write out something to send in.
Okay,
But it had to be a month after
yeah, 30 days,
after it was published.
right.
Yeah. So that's what I was just looking to see when it was published. I think, it looks like it was published on the 15th of May. Yeah,
Okay,
so I'll
Very
have to
good.
go up there and do whatever she needs to do next week. And, I don't know her last name, the auditor.
yeah, her name was on that paperwork.
Stark.
Stark. Ann Stark. There you go. All right, very good. Pete, you're up next.
Don't have a whole lot. We got the bench from the plastic bag collected up, if you've seen it when you come in. And Doug and I talked about where we're gonna put it at. And my opinion, in that little curve spot right here, where Iowa and Michigan, you know what I mean? That rounded place in the parking lot there in the grass?
Across the street,
Yes,
12 East Michigan.
yes,
Gotcha,
yeah.
okay.
You know, well, Iowa and
I don't know, I
Michigan.
mean, you were pointing
where the
this way,
well,
I
it's-
understand this, I
you know what I'm talking about, where it
Yes,
rounds
I
off
understand
and
what
kind
you're
of
saying
put
now.
it at an angle.
Uh-huh,
You know what I
uh-huh.
mean? And those, we talked about a concrete slab, because we probably need to anchor it to keep it from being carried off. That would be very easy to do. And I was gonna see if we can get some kind of precast or something, where all we gotta do is just take the sod out, set it down, and done. You know what I mean?
Alright.
Just an opinion, you know, you guys
Lots of questions.
decide where it goes. And
Yeah, we got this bench by, we just collected 1,000 pounds of plastic bags and bubble wrap and that stuff, and they sent us the bench, so
It took 1,000 pounds to make that bench?
I don't know that they actually
That's
used,
their requirement.
that was the
Wow.
goal
Yeah.
that they set for us.
I was-
I don't know if that's what they actually put into,
No, I
That
mean,
bench,
they
no.
couldn't have, because it don't weigh no 1,000 pounds. What I'm getting at is maybe we should have got maybe 10 of them.
it was a lot of plastic bags I was
Yeah.
running to Kroger with. Every time the guy at Kroger, he's like, because I'd bring in these giant trash bags full of plastic,
Uh-huh.
set them on their little recycling thing. But it was fun.
Yeah. And the next thing, we got our flagpole holders in, you know, we got our flagpoles last month. So I was able to put up more flags today. So we've got some in Gilbert Woods now. We're not done yet, what I'm doing is taking some of the broken poles that we had to cut off and replace them with the newer ones. Then we'll be able to transfer the flags to the new poles and stuff like that. because it went pretty for Flag Day and 4th of July. And the last thing I have is, John contacted me yesterday about, I don't know what, a little after 4.
Yeah.
And he got a text from some anonymous person about the Clayton Apartments. He thought they were pumping raw sewage out into the field. We went and checked it, walked up and down the field, and couldn't find anything. Now, I did come to work the other day and seen a hose that went over into the drainage ditch, and it looked like clear water to me, so I assumed it was crawl space water. And I guess this happened once before when Jeff Edders was in this job, and they had that water tested, and it was okay. So, other than that, they,
Yeah, he called the health department.
Yeah.
And they came out and did whatever testing they had to do, and it was not sewage, there was no bacteria, there was,
Right.
yeah, nothing.
so they must have trouble in their crawl space with all this rain we've had, and they've been pumping it out into the drainage ditch next to 39. But we didn't see any other
Any
thing.
lines going out with any
Yeah.
raw sewerage.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I have.
All right, anybody have any questions for Pete?
I seen the wheels turning on John, I guess.
No.
He put the
All right.
brakes on.
Very good. All right, Chief Remender.
Couple of things here. Doug, you mentioned Operation Pullover.
Yes,
we,
I did.
We can do Operation Pullover, but it has to be a paid employee to be able to do it. So the reserves wouldn't be able to do it. But it is something that we can do. Music in the Park, we got this month, June 28th at 7 with, I think the band is Justin and Company, Pete. Justin and Company, yeah, so. Hopefully everybody can make that. Activities for this month, I totaled it up and forgot to write it down, but I think it was 168 hours, approximately 168 hours of service that we did. 5 dispatch runs were down this month actually, so that was kind of a good thing. 11 business checks, 13 traffic stops, 1 arrest, and 3 special details. Also got scheduled, our radars haven't been collaborated for the last couple of years, so got scheduled to get those radars collaborated, so. Hasn't hurt us in any tickets yet, but it could.
The radar's in the
In the
individual
view,
units.
yeah, we have handhelds and then we have one in the units. And they really should be collaborated once a year. And I couldn't find anything that they've been done in the last 3 years. So I've got it scheduled to get those
Is that
collaborated.
different than calibrated, or?
Yes, I'm not saying it right.
I didn't want to say that.
I wrote down calibrated.
I'm like, am I hearing this wrong?
He's from the south.
Exactly.
How'd you say it? I can't even say it that way now.
Collaborate.
Wait a minute.
Calibrated.
Gotcha.
Calibrated?
Okay.
Am I saying it? Calibrated.
I better check, because maybe there's something different that I don't
No.
know.
On a radar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I think last month too, John, you were asking about the vehicle, and the vehicle's now totally outfitted with everything. So she's ready to roll. So I was able to get it in, get it done. So everything's good for it.
And what about the black car?
That is, I took it to another place, and they said considerably less than what it is. So they ordered a part, so I don't technically have, they said it would be approximately about half of what the cost was before. So, but I don't have total cost on it yet. So
What's wrong with it?
wheel bearings, struts and socks.
Oh.
And there was one other thing. There was one other thing on it as well. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So when the guy said it was just really kind of just floating on the road. So
Did you ever
That should be-
take it up,
Remove
maybe?
and replace suspension shock or strut. Remove and replace suspension ball joint, wheel alignment, and remove and replace disc brake caliper.
yeah,
That's what they
which
were
was
gonna
about
do.
$2,800 down
Yeah.
there, if I remember
Uh,
right.
Raymond's alignment out there on East 40,
Uh-huh.
you know, maybe you might talk to him. He's-
Okay.
He's an old Clayton boy here, and
Oh,
he's
is he?
produced
Okay.
stuff for us, so maybe
Okay.
might give you a break.
It's worth
Maybe
having,
about-
yeah,
Yeah, right next to the dealership out there.
Okay.
Westgate.
yeah, thank you. That's all I got, guys.
Anybody got any questions for Chief Remender? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, and then we have Mr. Ashbury here.
Yes.
From our new wastewater treatment plant operator.
Absolutely, and here to introduce Gil Strong. He's our director of maintenance and has been working there at the treatment plant, working on some things. It's only been 2 weeks since we've been involved, so we, don't have any reports to share or anything like that. But everything's been going well. We've been able to cross-train quite a few staff members, and Gil handled the blower maintenance that we've been corresponding via email, and just kind of maybe walk them through what you did there. There was some there was a little bit of a wrinkle in that in terms of the check valves needing to be replaced, but that's been a big. I feel a lot better about the plant and the reliability after what you've done there, and did a heck of a job.
Yeah, so pretty much what it was, I went over, you only had 2 blowers running. So I shut those blowers down, turned the other one on, they all come on. So none of your check valves are working, none of your shut-off valves are working, so you couldn't, even if you had an emergency, you wasn't gonna be able to shut them off. So first things first, before I even done blower service, went through, contacted them, let them know what I found. And I think that, I'm not sure who the email went to, but we was able to get an email out like, hey, this emergency, like, need these done. So we was able to get those installed and was able to shut the blowers off, then able to do, and we didn't know for sure about the 2 blowers that weren't running, they didn't even have belts on them. They didn't have belts because they were running in reverse whenever you turn the blowers on. So we was able to get those shut off and get belts on them, and they do work.
So yeah, it's good news. None of the bearings all seem to be
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah, everything seems to be working okay.
good. So yeah, we're just kind of working through some things there, and so that's a big weight off of our shoulders. Just having all the PM done there, and safety guards reinstalled.
Yeah, safety guards are installed.
So been also trying to do a better job of keeping up with the algae growth and the clarifiers, but working with Mr. Penner as well on the sludge processing. So just wanted to give you guys an update there for next month. We'll have a report issued before the meeting. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, so with the blowers, from what had been happening in the past, so we would have 2 running, a big one and a small one. And I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the other ones were technically backup.
Yeah, just
so that-
backups.
But so you've got it all functioning now, so that will continue, or are all 4 running now?
No, so you only need to run a big and a small at one time.
Okay.
So pretty much what I've been doing is I've went over there and I'll run. So I got 2 and 3 running right now, and then we'll say next week I'll come over. I'll shut those off and turn the other 2 on and run them for a little bit just to get the oil going through them and everything. And then I'll shut them back off and turn the other ones back on, just give them a break. Or I'll just leave 1 and 4 running, and then we'll use 2 and 3 as a backup.
So we got some good redundancy there, that is always.
And then the check valves and the butterfly valves, I think I read,
Yeah.
those are all been
Yeah, those are-
placed and working.
So the only ones that you had working was on blower 1, and they didn't have belts on that, and there was like a wood block that was underneath the pulley, and they had it painted black, and the other one had like one belt with just a bolt stuck in the belt, and I was like, why is that on there? So when I pop them off and I turn them on, everything kicks on. So it was back feeding into the other blowers.
Tripping everything on back on.
Yeah, it was running them in reverse.
So.
Okay, so then, the, working on the algae and cleaning up that, which I know this time of year is gonna be
Oh, yeah.
a big problem that you always have to deal with.
Chlorine granules should help with that.
Like, a couple years ago, we also dealt with midge flies, so I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
if you guys have dealt with that, but
Those are a lot of
keep an
fun.
eye out for that. Then recently, we also talked about our diesel generator that's out there. Pete, did we find out how to fill that tank up, or who's filling it up, or
I don't know.
we,
Keystone used to fill it up.
Yeah,
they would fill up that
Yeah, they
diesel
come
generator?
out.
they're the people we usually use.
Who does that?
Keystone,
Oh, okay.
or it used to be,
Co-op.
Coal
For
Line,
LP.
yeah.
Speaking on that, I
Alright, so the generator,
And he would come out
Get
in the
that
winter
topped
time
out.
and put the winter diesel, you got winter diesel in it. So it's Keystone who does it.
I get the winter air put in my tires also.
There you go. But, yeah, that's who, I don't know if we're still dealing with, because the guy that used to do it, he's no longer works there, he's left them, but surely they have somebody.
Hopefully, because
I will say-
last time we checked, it was like half full.
yeah, the generator does kick on, cause I had to go over in the field to get my
I
soul.
like your optimism.
When it kicked on, cause it scared the life out of me, so. I wasn't expecting that to come on, but it is firing up and running, so.
Yeah, I think it does that every Tuesday.
Yeah.
For a short time.
Mhm.
What do you want me to get a hold of them and?
That's under a service contract too with, or is that not? Probably.
Jenny
Yeah.
says we're not getting a bill from, Keystone, which used to be Coal Alliance.
Right, that's
Yeah.
what we've talked about this for several months, and we don't, that's where
So
we.
probably when, that guy used to live down there in 39, can't think of his name. He drove,
Anderson.
yeah, Anderson, he was the
You
one
want me
that.
to check the fuel level on that one next time? I-
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the generator, just by your
It's a-
guess, the generator kicks on for a test, how much diesel fuel would get it?
It's hard to tell. I mean, diesel burns so slow, so it can't
So I mean,
use.
maybe what's in there has just been in there for years.
Might need to, and
they done a
is that a
biotest?
Cummins or?
Yes,
Okay.
that's cat.
Cat.
Yeah.
But we can get a quote from, company that does like an
That
annual
generator's
PM.
not terribly old, right? I mean, didn't we replace it in 16 or 17?
Yeah, and they come out, I knew once a year, we used to have,
No, that's
they had a
not a
contract
generator
with
we
them, they
have.
come out and service
Oh.
it.
Yeah, that's
I
always a
thought-
good idea.
Yeah.
It's-
I thought when Ryan Rash was president, that the town purchased a new one for there.
Was that when we did it, John?
Well,
Isn't it
we tried to get a
isn't it from
generator when,
McAllister?
Brad was still on the town board and Debbie and them, and we didn't have it then, but right after that is when we got it. But then, we get a bill from, we had to sign a contract,
I get a bill every year from
for-
McAllister.
yeah,
Yeah.
where they come out and they'll go through the whole.
Yeah,
unit.
we can reach out to them and get a quote for next month, for doing routine service on it. We, even though we have all these internal maintenance capabilities at our laboratory, we still sub that out, with our generator to, ours is Cummins, so we use Crosspoint, but McAllister would be for Caterpillar. And, yeah, we can have them shoot a quote over there, but yeah, it's likely that they'll, they do those lab tests on what's, the fuel in there, and if it hadn't been, maintaining a little bit, it might need, some additives put in there, potentially.
Okay. And then, with the reporting to IDEM, you
Yeah.
worked out that access, I know you had emailed me and
Yeah.
needed to know how to get onto that, and I
Yeah,
forwarded you an email from,
yeah, that was Mike Gillespie, I think, that maybe sent that, or was it,
I
yeah,
know Kim Rohr
yeah,
had sent a detailed thing on how
oh,
to
yeah.
access that
Mhm.
and submit reports, so.
We'll
Making
work that
sure.
out and make sure that, yeah, because we'll be responsible for obviously doing June's report, and,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Very good.
Do you want me to get a hold of Keystone and have them come fill that up? If we haven't had it done for a while, get back on a schedule?
Yeah, or maybe we just get with Cat first, and have them, just to not cross, just
Yeah.
up to you guys, but.
Yeah, because it was always, like I say, Coal Alliance, and then, the generator people, they come out and done their thing, so.
But McAllister's already, they come out once a
I've
year,
got
4 PM.
Little note, and I'll check my the contract and let you
So
know.
just-
Okay, yeah, let us know
So
if
if
they're.
they're
in the-
already scheduled to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
Then there's nothing,
And then-
Did
yeah.
you get my email back about?
I did,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. Did you email me back to tell me how
Yeah.
to pay it?
So yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, let us know if you guys do have an agreement with McAllister, and if that's the case, then all we need to do is just check the fuel level and we could, you know,
Yeah, if the
coordinate.
fuel
phone line.
level's low, then
Yeah.
we'll have John reach out to
Yeah,
his contact and then
I can-
find
I
out
can come
what,
and check that
what we
tomorrow
need
if
to
need be.
make sure
Sure.
it's topped off.
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, that sounds like a good plan, and we'll be meeting Tuesday there with Banning and
At Banning's office, right?
yep,
Okay,
yep.
Where?
Banning's office
Okay,
in Plainfield.
okay,
They're over by,
right.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that pretty
any
well.
other questions for our wastewater treatment plant operators? Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I guess see you next month.
okay.
Can I ask a quick question about that generator? Does it not need a key where you can get to check the fuel and stuff, cause it's got panels on the side that basically, you know, for protection. It does take a key, doesn't it? Cause I don't think the fuel tank's out where you can get to it without opening a panel up.
It could either have like it'd be like a universal key, which is like a circle with 2 lines on it.
Oh,
It could be one of those, or whoever you is
yeah, cause I don't think we
doing
have,
the service may have the keyboard as well.
that I know of anyway.
All right, well, Jenny's gonna find the contract. When Jenny finds the contract, we can find out, you know, who's the contact. I mean, if it's McAllister,
Yeah.
you already worked with them on purchasing our
Right.
little side-by-side, so,
Yeah.
you know, but, yeah, we'll get a hold of them and make sure that we know.
Yeah,
What we
you know,
need
I
to
mean,
do.
we could check the fuel level ourselves if we got a key, you know. That's on there for a reason, so, you know, for tampering and stuff like that.
Sure. All right, and then also for you guys to know, I don't know, we approved some work to be done on the south tank and the east tank.
Right.
Is there a date yet? Do we have that for them, Pete?
No.
So Pete will let you know
I need to get
when
on-
that's gonna happen.
Right.
Perfect.
They're not gonna shut down both tanks at the same time.
Right.
You already talked to them about that. So they'll be doing some,
Rehab of
Wall.
the equalization,
yeah,
clarifying.
they're gonna replace a set of
Right.
walls on the south tank. And then they'll, after they get that done and that's back up to working, they'll go to the east tank, they're gonna drain it, sandblast it, repaint it. And so, but you guys just need to know that that's what they're,
Sure, and if you could email me that scope of work, just so we
Right,
have it.
right, yeah, they're, I think they're in the process of building the walls right now,
I'm not sure.
the stainless steel walls that they're gonna put in.
That's gonna be a good project.
okay,
All right, thank you
thank you
guys.
so much.
Appreciate it.
All right. Couple other things. Saturday is our town dumpster filling day, and it's supposed to rain all day. So, are you wanting to have an emergency backup date to move this to, or are you gonna have it rain or shine?
I looked at the weather this morning, and it looked like it was gonna rain early in the morning before we started, and then possibly later in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And he's bringing the dumpster tomorrow.
But I'm okay with a backup here. If we want, does he mind those dumpsters sitting there? They're gonna fill themselves if we do, but.
Oh, they won't fill it.
Hey,
They-
if
they
it
have
rains
enough.
Oh, should mean water.
We'll send John
Oh.
out.
Okay, we've done it before and it's rained on us, and
Okay.
it don't seem
Well,
to
I have a
stop
little
people.
pop-up tent that.
It don't seem to stop the people.
Hide underneath.
We
the
need
pop-up.
it anyhow, that guy cut his shade tree down there.
Ralph cut
Yeah.
his shade tree down?
Yeah.
So if it rains and
I love
sun
his
comes out,
garden.
it's
He's
pretty
just-
humid, right?
His garden gets bigger every year over there. Man. Anyway, all right. So that's
Have it.
trash day. Any other comments on that? So we're gonna have
9 to 2, right? We
Yes.
put 9 to 3 on the sewer bill, so you guys are gonna have to stay an extra hour.
9 to 3. Yeah. All right. And then
Or I'll come down from 2 to 3.
what else was I gonna bring up? I think that's it. But you have anything for the good of the order? All right. Anything for the good of the order?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, yes, sir. Jenny, you know, we going on our vacation or whatever, we're gonna be leaving the 26th, and,
I hadn't told anybody yet.
oh, well,
Not a secret now.
yeah, but anyhow, you know, at the end of this month, our 6-month checks are due, and, I talked to the State Board of Accounts, talked to the guy's name was Ralph up there. and
No,
he-
it was Patrick.
Oh, Patrick, well, pretty close.
He hit hard.
And from what I understand, if she pays us for the 30th, as long as the board approves it, she's got the documentation, so the State Board of Accounts does not get on her for doing something wrong. She would make the checks out before she left. So, I'll make a, kind of a motion, can we have her approved to make them out before the end of the month, before she leaves, because she won't be back by the end, first of the month.
Well, I mean, Jenny can make them out whenever she wants.
Yep.
We can just agree to deposit them or cash them July 1st.
Yeah, but it, yeah.
No,
it's
I
got
was
to-
gonna make them out and let Pete pass them out to everybody on the 30th.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But John was just,
yeah.
Sure.
he wanted his on Friday, and I told him that the State Board of Accounts had told me that you had to wait until the 30th.
Yeah.
And I said, you get it, the town council's approval and put it in the minutes, fine, but I'm not getting in trouble
Right,
again
she
for
did
it.
that, so that's what.
I'm just telling
Did you
you.
say I'm not getting in trouble
I'm not
again
getting in
for
trouble
it?
with the State Board of Accounts again.
I've
I've been in trouble with them
Wink, wink.
before.
Yeah, but what they want is,
Motion.
a motion where they've got the documentation, she does got that if it's done, so. But it's gotta be the approval of the board, all the board members got to say it unanimously, that yes.
Unanimously.
Well, I don't be unanimously, but majority.
A majority.
I was gonna say,
All
how
right.
do you spell unanimously?
I got it.
All of us, just say all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
I guess, what is your opinion?
That's fine.
Fine.
Okay, you want your check early? For
No.
June? No, she doesn't want
Okay.
it. All right, so, make your motion on what you want to have happen.
I make a motion that, on the date is, what date is that?
Today's 12th.
Now, are you
No,
making
not-
the motion that everybody gets paid on Friday, or
Yeah.
just the town council gets paid on Friday? Because everybody else hasn't worked their whole time.
Well, I'll make the motion that everybody does, since you're gonna be gone.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to look at my phone, see what date that is.
I'd be fine with Jenny writing them out normally, and then whoever has access to the office delivers them to people on the 30th, like
Yeah.
we've always done.
That's something.
I think. It's a difference of just a couple of days, so.
Yeah, I was saying 27th, which is the Friday. So, but you'll have, well, if we do it that way, you'll have them made out and it'd be.
I'll have it made out on the 24th probably,
And then-
but, I mean, just like today's, yesterday I did payroll, but you put the 15th on it. Well, actually the 13th, because 15th is on Sunday.
Yeah.
Put the 13th on it.
It's Father's Day. All right, so that would be my suggestion, just to keep the confusion to a minimum. Jenny writes the checks, however, she needs to write them, puts the date of the 30th, and then whoever has access to the office, Pete, gives them to the individual people on the 30th.
I make a motion, that's what we do.
Okay, first motion,
I'll second.
second motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed.
Alright.
Okay. All right, 3-1, sorry. Okay, anybody else got anything for the meeting? Graham, you got anything? All right, Judy? All right, Jenny?
We're leaving on the 26th,
Where you going?
Alaska. Me and Judy.
Okay,
And we won't be back until the 4th, July the 4th. So if anybody asks, people will get their sewer bills just a little bit late in July.
that'll
But
break
they're
their
still
heart.
gonna have to pay.
But they still have to pay.
Contrary to what people think.
Okay, very good. All right.
Yeah, I will do payroll and just let
Yeah.
Pete pass it
But
on.
leave them in your office, right? You're gonna put them on there.
I can do that.
Yeah, Trey, cause yours is always locked,
Yeah,
mine's not.
okay.
All right. I have a consensus to adjourn.
Anybody need
That's
to
your
publicly speak?
Nobody signed up.
Okay. Adjourn.
Consensus to adjourn. Consensus to adjourn. All right.